Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a legacy video every Friday. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another legacy video and back playing Doomsday. And today I am recording with Luca Fasoli's BUG Doomsday list. Luca is a long-time, high-performing Doomsday grinder expert, what do you want to call it, and Luca has done very, very well, especially at the Four Seasons Legacy tournaments. The thing that distinguishes the lists that Luca play are that he gravitates towards bug. And I've played bug sort of now and again, but I think the general consensus in for a long time has been to play Demir. And Luca has sort of, I don't know, like bucked that trend a bit by playing bug consistently, I think. So some thoughts about like the pros and cons of being on a third color. I think one of the perceived cons is possibly not as big as it's made out to be, which is the vulnerability to Wasteland and Blood Moon. Because the thing is, with Doomsday even being a Demir deck, you are usually soft to those things anyway. Yeah, you can maybe play like one or two basics, but you are usually like playing five dual lands, so like four Underground Sea and one Undercity Sewers. So you're never going to you're never going to be like high tide, right? You're not going to just like have six or eight basic lands in your deck. You're never going to be able to just reliably work on basics. So adding the third color, it doesn't really. I mean, obviously, it can complicate things, and it can mean that you can be taken off your tertiary color with one wasteland sometimes, which is not ideal. But I just wanted to say that while it is a con, I don't think it is that big of a con. And I think the biggest pro you get from having green in this case is out of the sideboard, and it's actually Carpet of Flowers. Um, so Carpet of Flowers, I think also like Blue Green Omni is a thing, not maybe primarily, but almost primarily because of Carpet of Flowers. It's just like such a effective effect, so to speak. Um, we're only really playing one Veil of Summer in the main, and actually that's the only green card if we don't count the Edge of Autumns. And actually, let me just sort these by color. Yeah, like that. Okay, so as you see, we're like a healthy 22 blue cards. Only three green cards, but actually only one in the main deck. So it is primarily to be able to bring in additional Veils of Summer, which I think are like very good versus any blue deck to have. But obviously pretty underwhelming versus non-blue decks for the most part. So I get why we aren't playing more than we are in the main deck. So yeah, I this is Luca's list from the early March where he top 8'd the Four Seasons, and I have not made any change. So I wanted to really pay homage and also like see what this list feels like to play. So let's jump into a league. All right, on the draw for round number one, opponent mulligans to six. I'm gonna keep this somewhat underwhelming looking hand, but if we find a Doomsday, we have it on turn two, where we could go like turn one Thoughtseize, and we also have the Preordain here, so I think it's an okay choice. Basic Swamp. So we're either getting Thoughtseize or it's Entomb. Yeah, okay. Here comes Thoughtseize. I'm just gonna yield. So they take our Thoughtseize, so we have to be concerned that they can do like something broken on turn two. Find Thassa's Oracle. That's hardly exciting. I am going to preordain here. Personal tutor. I mean, this probably is going to be too slow, right? Yeah, I think I'm actually going to bottom these. Oh, and I get a Thoughtseize. And I am actually just going to burn off this petal to Thoughtseize right now. Oops. There we go. Okay, interesting. Colgan. So this is Grix's control. All right, we're gonna take the Bowmasters and leave them with a not too exciting looking hand. But I did kind of like the play pattern. Okay, now we have perfect information now because they just drew that and they kept the land on top. That's a bit scary. Force of will. Would I care? I guess like force of willing the Colgan's command, which is gonna bring back their Bowmasters, is something I'd be interested in. It is gonna cost me my Thassa, which is not ideal. All right, I think I'm gonna fetch Undercity Sewers here. Dark Ritual. Let's put that in the graveyard. Is it worth? Yeah, I think I have to. Oh, they didn't want to call a command here. Interesting. Now I can Dark Ritual out the Force of Will instead, so we don't like lose the ability to win with Thassa's Oracle. Okay, something tells me they might have kept a Force of Will because they saw what we're doing with like Lotus Petal and whatnot. So and they surveilled something to the top. Calling this command. Okay, I'm gonna Force of Will this. Okay, so that was Force of Willed. Okay, so do they just slam their Kaito? And I'm guessing they're making an emblem. So they have one card in hand. Personal. Like this just feels so anemic to do now, right? Cast Personal Tutor, get a Doomsday, which we can't cast. I think I'm supposed to. I think I'm supposed to wait. It's not ideal. They can attack me and then draw a card and surveil and all that good jazz. And I do think this game is sort of slipping out of reach here. They surveil two and then they get to draw a card. They went bottom top. Or rather, put one in the graveyard. I guess it was two brainstorms maybe? Yeah, this game feels lost, unfortunately. Barrogoyf. Okay, so it can actually be over fairly quickly here. I think I would need to like brainstorm off the top and then brainstorm to deliver the goods, which is not the most likely. Well, there's Dark Ritual. So unfortunately, this doesn't do it because yeah, I would I have like I would be at 3, then I would draw the Doomsday and have no way to draw a card. So even though we can put Thassa into play, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm gonna hope they don't have like Lightning Bolt or whatever. Does this make it lethal? No, right? I take what? I take 10. Yeah, let's see if they hit a Bowmasters or something. They don't. They mill a Force of Will and the Lightning Bolt. So that's nice. But you gotta imagine they might have something relevant here. Oh, that is Brainstorm. That was sort of part one of what we needed. They're pausing here, which makes you think they have a counterspell. But look at that, didn't matter. Anyways, we didn't get what we needed. Okay, let's jump into the sideboard. We have some good, like the 3 Veil of Summer feel very good. Um, like Abrupt Decay to kill something like a Bowmasters or Narset or something they might be playing is not on out of the question. I think Carpet of Flowers is fine. It's not amazing because as you just saw, they had like Bathlands and Basic Swamp, but and then finally like there's Flusterstorm and Hydroblast, which are cards that I might be interested in. But let's see what we would perhaps be looking at cutting here. I think I'm okay slowing down a little bit, so cutting a couple of the cyclers. And I think I'm also, I don't know, like cutting LED is something I'm actually not interested in. So I'm going to cut like maybe a couple of petals because we are playing with carpets here. And then I think I probably cut some number of personal tutor. Maybe all 3. And I would like to keep in both Jace and Thassa just because, well, Jace is not amazing versus Pyroblast gaming, but he isn't out to like um, consign to memory. I'll cut. No, I don't know. What's the last cut here? I think I'm actually going to cut a Daze because I think I expect this game to go a bit longer. Um, And so I don't think Daze is amazing versus this matchup anyways. Yeah, I'll keep this. Alright, I'm gonna Underground Sea and Preordain. And I don't know. I think I bottom I think I actually bottom both of these and pass. And so if they Thoughtseize us here on turn one, I think they take Duress or Dark Ritual. Ooh, Tameo is not ideal for us. Carpet of Flowers is nice. I think I'm just gonna play that out. I'll get Underground or a Tropical Island rather. And then I will pass and make a blue mana. And I will cast my Ponder. mm, I mean, Jace Wheeler of Mysteries is honestly not terrible. Yeah, I think I'm actually. This might be something I will regret, but I guess like if they just like if we have Flip Tameo versus Jace, Flip Tameo wins, and the Badlands was not ideal because now it's going to cost me my Dark Ritual if I want to um both Duress and cast Jace. Yeah, I think I'm going to brainstorm here. If they have the Bowmasters, it's really bad, but that was good. So let's put back a Dark Ritual and another Dark Ritual. And I'm not going to Abrupt Decay the Tameo right now. I think actually I'm going to make a black mana though. And I'm going to Duress. And then I'll probably respond the second I know they can't brainstorm with the Tameo. Okay. They have another Tameo. What do I take here? I think I take the Colligan's Command. And then I pass. And then they don't have Brainstorm, so it's kind of free, but I am just going to kill Tameo now. Okay, so they found Undercity Sewers. And they play second Tameo. Yeah, I think I let that resolve. They have one unknown card in hand. I really hope it's not a Pyroblast. So I will make blue mana here. And I will leave open Tropical Island to show them Veil of Summer. Okay, so Jace is in. I'm gonna just target myself here. And that's a land. But it milled my Undercity Sewers. Wow, that's unfortunate. Cling to Dust, my Abrupt Decay. That's fair. So they make a clue, and let's see if they have more things to do. They do not. I don't want to cast Consider. I don't really want to take down Force of Will here. There's Thoughtseize. Let's not trigger the carpet just yet, and instead let's start off with plussing Jace. That mills over 2 cantrips and gives us a land, so that's really bad. Let's Thoughtseize. Okay, so they have double force and a consign to memory. Let's take one of the forces, and let's oh, actually, I'm gonna trigger the carpet here. Make blue mana, and I'm going to cast my Consider. There is a Doomsday. I'll draw that. Let's just see here. So I have blue. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Misty Rainforest, 7. So I just exactly do not have enough mana to both like play cast Doomsday and keep open hardcast Force of Will. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's pass. And really hope that they don't like find either Pyroblast or like Thoughtseize. Oh, they had the Pyroblast. Boo. All right, so we draw Underground Sea, and I think I will make black mana here. Yeah, but let's see how we want to do this. I'm gonna cast my Dark Ritual, and then the question is, do I leave uncracked Misty Rainforests here? We also have to be mindful that they can cling to dust our Jace. Um, I'm gonna fetch a land here because it's sort of the same life total wise. And let's just say we have 4, 7, 8, 9. All right, I'm just gonna cast my Doomsday now. We'll see what they want to do about that. They don't have hard cast force, so they force pitch ponder. So I think I know their cards in their hand. They can draw with the clue. All right, let's force of will. If they draw with the clue, they can't cling to dust our Jace. Okay, they are drawing with the clue. Did they find another force or a pyroblast? Okay. I'm just really unsure if I'm supposed to crack this Misty Rainforest or not. I think I am. I think I'm gonna want the cards in the deck. All right, let's get the basic island, and let's see. Okay, so we want the Jace because they have a consigned memory in hand. We want Thassa's Oracle though, and Cavern of Souls, Cycler, and what, a Duress? Not sure how this is gonna look. So we can um, we'll draw. Let's say we draw Jace. We play Jace. Jace resolves. We mill Duress and Cavern, and then draw Edge. Then like that's not a very appealing pile. So maybe we don't want the Cavern of Souls. Do we want like Veil of Summer? And if so, that means like waiting an additional turn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this. So I will draw Veil, I'll draw Jace, and then I will want to activate Jace, drawing or milling the Thassa and the Dress and drawing Edge. This is really something where we're going to have to be flexible here if they also get to regrow their Pyroblast or if we want to be able to beat a Pyroblast. Okay, so probably Edge on the bottom, then Thassa, then Duress, then Jace, then Veil. And yeah, I mean, this could go a lot of different ways. I'm not too confident because they have drawn a lot of cards. Okay, so they're fetching here. And did they find a Bowmasters? Okay. Does not appear to be what they found. But yeah, they have so many relevant cards here. There is a world where they Kozilek's command us in our draw step, which would be pretty sweet actually, I think, because then we can Veil of Summer that draws us an extra card, makes Jace uncounterable. So that just happened. I'm not gonna make mana with Carpet, I'm just gonna pass here. Okay, if they have game actions here, this is Cling to Dust. Yeah, Cling to Dust draws a card. So they have one force in the graveyard and one force in exile, so 2 forces left. I wonder if I'm supposed to wait here. So let's walk through this. If I play Jace, they Pyroblast. I Veil of Summer, they Force of Will. Then the turn ends there. If I Jace, they let it resolve. I activate, they Pyroblast. Then I lose the game. Because then I mill my Oracle. So Pyroblast is a pretty big, like that would actually be a reason to wait a turn. And it's giving them like 2 extra cards, but it also gives me a duress. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to actually just, this might be nuts here, but let's try this. There's a Bowmasters. Do we care about that? So I go to 6, I go to 4 from the attack, and then I have Veil of Summer next turn. Okay, they can have Bowmasters. They have more? Oh no, this is just, they're drawing with a clue. That makes sense. Alright, let's go. Let's see how this goes. Honestly though, they could just show us a hand that has like double Pyroblast, and then it probably doesn't matter that much. I drop to 4, and I am going to trigger the Carpet now. I'm going to make blue mana. And then I'm going to start off with a Pyroblast, or not Pyroblast, a Duress. Okay, let's see here. Nimble Obstructionist. So they can stifle the draw to, or mill 2 draw. That's unfortunate. But I mean, we could just take the Brainstorm here, and then but then they can kill me with Kaito, right? I guess not, right? That would not kill me. But is there any way I can win this turn if they just stifle the activated ability on Jace? I don't think so. So, oh man. I will Veil of Summer in response, and so I draw a card. Does it matter next turn though? Like, so yeah, the Veil of Summer will draw me the Edge of Autumn, and then I can win like that way. I'm gonna take the Brainstorm here. Yeah. It's a lot of extra cards they get to see though. They can't use this yet. Let me just walk it through in my head that I'm not messing it up here. I played Jace, that resolves. Oh, hang on. Hang on. This just kills me outright. I have to play Jace and hope that they, I don't know, like mess up. Yeah, unfortunate, right? Yeah, because they just flash this in, and then I'm dead. Wow, imagine if I put Thoughtseize instead of Duress there. I wasn't playing around Nimble Obstructionist. But then again, like, they can't kill the Jace. Okay, they're drawing with the clue. And this might not be over, but probably is. So I'm gonna activate Jace Mill myself. They have to stifle this. But they didn't. Okay, that was weird. I guess they thought they would get a chance on like maybe they thought Jace was a triggered ability, like when you draw, if there are no cards in your deck, you win the game. But that's not what this says. It says if, so it's all in the fine print. Okay, I felt like I got away with that one. Nimble Obstructionist. That's an annoying card. I think I just resubmit here. I've also burned an inordinate amount of time off of my clock here. I have like 10 minutes left, so I have to play a little bit faster. Yeah, this works. I'm guessing here's a Thoughtseize. Yep. They take my preordain. Okay. How about a Doomsday? Okay, that wasn't Doomsday. They had Meltdown versus us. That was interesting. I don't think I'm gonna float the pedal. Not primarily because of Meltdown, but I just don't think they play Daze, so my Veil is sort of free here. Okay, let's fetch Undercity Sewers. I don't want Force of Will here. I want Doomsday. I guess I'll take a Brainstorm here. And if they want to Pyroblast this, I think I might just Veil of Summer. Okay, that didn't happen. Okay, that was pretty good. Not gonna lie. Let's put away Basic Island and I guess Underground Sea. I like having the Cavern because it leaves up a slot in the pile. You could argue that I was supposed to leave Doomsday so as to not have it like eat a Thoughtseize here, but I have the Veil. Okay, so they need like double counterspell here to stop me from casting Doomsday. This looks like 3 mana. There's a Narset. Yeah, yeah, Narset is annoying, but I can't really do anything about her. Let's see what they reveal. Pyroblast. Okay. So now I think I actually will I will draw the Underground Sea and leave a land that I can fetch. Um, and let's cast Doomsday. Okay, so that resolved. I want Thassa. Do I want Jace versus that face-up Pyroblast? I think yeah, maybe. Do I want Thoughtseize? I think so. Do I want? I need a Tropical Island. And then what's the last card? Like Carpet of Flowers is like honestly pretty appealing. Yeah, let's try this. I like the Hydroblast versus their known thing here. Okay, so Tropical Island can go on the bottom. Guess then it's Thoughtseize and Thassa and Jason. Then I'll draw the carpet. All right, we'll pass. I have to decide if I want to burn my petal to cast a Veil of Summer if I need to, like if they Thoughtseize me here or something. Here comes second activation of Narset, and they melt down. Okay, they actually kept in the meltdown, and they get paid off here. I think I am gonna not fetch the Trop yet, and I think I'm going to go Wizard here on my Cavern, and I will just pass. They cling to dust my Doomsday. You bet it. You betcha. Looks like they're just passing. Okay. So let's draw the Jace. Um, let's fetch here. Let's see. They could Nimble Obstructionist this, which it does look like they're doing. Oh, Opposition Agent. Fuck me. Am I just cold to that? I guess I am. Like, well, I mean, I'm not going to be casting Jace, and I'm not going to be casting Veil of Summer. So they get to just remove my Tropical Island here, and they see what's up. They see my hand. They see the deck. Um, so Tropical Island is gone. That means I am passing the turn 2 more times. It means my Thoughtseize is off. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That is almost certainly going to do it. They just need one Stifle effect, like one Consigned Memory or Nimble Obstructionist, because I can't Thoughtseize it. Like I guess I could like if I draw Thassa right now, I could cast it. Then they let it resolve. They Pyroblast it, and then I Hydroblast. But but then we know they have a Force of Will, so yeah, yeah, it's probably GG's. Orcish Bowmasters, and that is actually GG's. Okay. All right, off to round number 2. Okay, we're on the draw for round number 2. We have a turn 1 Doomsday. We have a turn 2 Doomsday win on the same turn. But let's see here. Opponent is mulliganing to 5. It's a Mox Diamond deck. Okay. And a Nurse's Saga, sure. And Disruptor Flute. I mean, if they're looking me up right now, then they will name Doomsday. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and Force of Will this. And Lotus Petal? No, okay. I think I will actually just basic Island because I want to win on the same turn here. I don't want them to like see the Doomsday and then like top deck another Flute or whatever. They can't cast they cannot cast Endurance here, so I think we're good to go unless their last card is another Flute. Let's go consider this is the standard pile. Blindside Diamond, Double Cycler. We can't um we can't take 2 Edge of Autumn because they have a face-up Wasteland, and if they waste the Underground Sea in response to the Brainstorm, that kind of thing. So Street Wraith 1. I guess actually that would be a reason to not even have um, one Edge of Autumn if like their last card is Crop Rotation and they're playing a copy of Ghost Quarter, and our life total can handle it. So I'm gonna take 2 Street Wraith. Okay, Thassa's Oracle, that should do it. Yep, So Oracle on the bottom with a cycler on top, and then the order of the last three doesn't matter. Okay, they concede. So this is lands, I would guess. I guess having like a copy of Abrupt Decay is not the worst, and then like board in a couple of copies of Force of Negation. We can board out Veil of Summer and Duress, I think, on the draw at least. It's not that great. And a Daze. I don't know if I'm supposed to board in Consign to Memory here. Um, it could be some other type of lands type deck that is also playing, I don't know, like the One Ring or something, but I don't think we want to play defense there anyways. I I am gonna keep here. I have the Decay because I do worry that they keep 7 here. It's because they have like turn 1 Sphere Resistance or Disruptor Flute or something. Well, it's the same opening as before. They have 2 more cards though. There's Flute. Okay. So Flute's gonna name Doomsday, which I can Abrupt Decay at some point. I am concerned about Wasteland and getting Wastelanded out of the game here, but we'll see. I think I actually dropped my Underground Sea here because I want to be able to hardcast Doomsday at some point, and I need to Abrupt Decay anyways. Do I want Thoughtseize here? I think I want the second Ponder, and I guess a Dark Ritual is not the worst. Yeah. I don't think I want Thoughtseize though. And they had Wasteland. Damn it. So do they want to Wasteland me, or do they want to make constructs here? Looks like they want to make constructs. I'm not going to give away the green quite yet. It's no good. Need a Doomsday. Force of Negation, no good. Gonna pass. And I am basically down to having to draw Doomsday next turn, I think. Because the pressure they're putting me under. Let's see if what they search out here. Yeah, they have a land. They can, yeah, just smack me for 11 here. So I don't even think Doomsday does it here. I'm a mana short of casting both Abrupt Decay and then being able to win. Well, let's cycle Street Wraith. There is Doomsday. Wow, that is tantalizing, right? Yeah, but it's just not enough. What would I need here? I would need to cycle Edge of Autumn into Brainstorm and Brainstorm to show me like, I don't know, Petal Cycler. Would that do it? Then like I would need 2 mana. Yeah, maybe that would do it. I mean, I'm not hopeful here. That's another cycler. Oh, come on. Um, yeah, okay. Well, I am going to resubmit here. I don't think I saw anything that makes me feel like I need to change anything up here. These hands where you can't like interact are like really worrying, I think is the word I'm looking for. Again, I'll keep due to the strength of Abrupt Decay here. And I'm actually gonna play this Undercity Sewers first. It's just so, like really anemic. Or put Ponder into the graveyard. I'll play out my LED and then I'll pass. There's a Saga. And a Once Upon a Time, okay. Oseju, okay, so they can kill my LED if they want. Alright, I'm going to Ponder here. And that finds Personal Tutor. How crazy about that are we? They can just Boseiju and force us to shuffle. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm gonna shuffle these. Wow. Well, better lucky than good and all that. Let's cast Preordain looking for Dark Ritual or another land. I guess I'll take Petal. I guess I'll take both of these because it does allow me to win on the same turn, next turn. That is, if our opponent doesn't like have anything to say about it. Well, okay, they play the Boseiju. That means they needed it for mana, possibly, or maybe they have a second one. Disruptor Flute. Okay. Well, we have the answer for that, but now there's a chance like a wasteland messes us up here, but I will I'll pass. They're crop rotating this away. Ugh, gross. This probably gets wasteland. Unless they're like ready to win soon with Dark Depths, yeah. Does this get Expedition Map then? Oh, Mox Diamond, okay. Yeah, they have it. Are they just going for it here? I mean, I kind of hope so. Well, now we have to hope that they don't have endurance, I guess, or like Mindbreak Trap or something. Okay, I'm gonna Abrupt Decay the Disruptor Flute, and then I'm gonna cast Consider. Another land. I think I don't hate another land here. And a Cycler is also very appreciated. Okay, let's cast Doomsday. Alright, so I can cycle Edge of Autumn into Thoughtseize, and then I can cast Thoughtseize off of Lotus Petal. But that means I can't that means I don't get to cast Jace then. I could also just put both Jace and Thassa's Oracle in the deck. Let's see, how'd that work? Alright, let's say that we go something like this. So we cast Brainstorm and maintain priority and cycle Edge of Autumn into Street Wraith. Now there are 3 cards left in the deck. And then we let Brainstorm resolve. And then we work it out from there. They can either, like, if they want to Mindbreak Trap the Brainstorm, then we just keep cycling and then eventually hit the Jace. So let's say Thassa on the bottom, and then like Street Wraith, then Jace. Alright, so I cast Brainstorm, and then I cycle Edge of Autumn, and I crack the LED for blue. Okay. And then we cycle Edge of Autumn again. I think I'm not gonna play. I got a little bit ahead of myself, and I'm obviously clearly missing the mana to cast both Jason and Thassa this turn. So I'm gonna bank on them not having Mindbreak Trap, and then maybe having like what do you call it? Endurance as what they could have. So let's put back Thassa and a Street Wraith. And let's cast the Jace. The obvious Mindbreak Trap point. And then I'll activate Jace. I still lose to Endurance here. I could get a massive graveyard. And I can't cycle through everything. Opponent just asking if I'm recording. And telling me that if I have days, I will win. So I don't have days, unfortunately. Okay, so they had the Endurance. And I could have put a daze in here. I'm sitting here with one of the cards that was in my hand, or in the pile. So let me just see. This is in a random order. Yeah. So my graveyard is 8 cards big. And so there's no real reason for us to make it 2 cards bigger, or like 1 card bigger by cycling the Street Wraith now. So this just happens. And I mill over the Thassa and the... I guess I could make it so that I get Thassa in my hand here rather than the Street Wraith, and then draw a random card. I think having Street Wraith is better. So, okay. Let's cycle this, and that's the end of the line. All right, GG's opponent. Yeah, yeah. Like, if they didn't have the Merit Lodge, I feel like there's a pretty good chance I win this game from here. But they did, so I lose. All right, we're on the play for the third round. Yeah, this hand seems interesting enough. All right, I'm going to fetch Underground Sea, cast Preordain, and that's going to be my first turn here. Bottom the Personal Tutor and top the Undercity Sewers, I think. Basic Island and a Ponder. Okay. I'm um, thinking Omnitel maybe? Okay, let's just play the Undercity Sewers, and I'll take a Brainstorm. Plains. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. Cryptic Coat. Okay. Could be because they already have the Cauldra. I'll be at 9, so Cauldra is not a lethal attack. So I am gonna cast the Doomsday, and that just resolved. Okay, I'll put Cavern of Souls and some Cyclers. But yeah, if they have Cauldra, I can't put 2 Street Wraith here. But I also have a Brainstorm, so that's fine. Okay, and I'll add a Petal because there's a chance I want to play Jace here. Like Cryptic Coat, I don't know. Could they be like a Stifle Stoneblade deck? Could they have like Consign a Memory or something in their hand? So let's see here. I draw Street Wraith. I cycle it into Lotus Petal. And then, or rather, Cavern of Souls. And then I play Jace and win. Yeah, let's see. Well, no Wasteland. Happy about that. And a Ponder. Okay. They shuffle again. Not had a lot of luck with their Ponders. Okay, here comes what? Here comes the Cauldra. I think in this case, I'm supposed to just win with Thassa here because they're tapped out. And if they happen to have like double, if they happen to have like double Force of Will suddenly, which would be pretty weird, but you know, you never know. Here comes Thassa. If they have triple Solitude, they win here, but yeah. All right, cool. So this is some kind of Stoneblade deck by the looks of it. Carpet of Flowers good, Veil of Summer good, Abrupt Decay fine. I think that's probably it. And I will board out a couple of copies of Personal Tutor. I'll board out 2 Cyclers and 2 Petals. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, this looks good. They could have Prismatic Ending, which would line up pretty poorly for me versus my Carpet. Tundra Go. Okay. I think I will try this Carpet of Flowers. If they play Spell Pierce, that is going to be very annoying. I'm actually going to get Bayou here. Hopefully this is not Spell Pierce, but like Flusterstorm. No! My weakness, Spell Pierce. Okay. Well, that was a gamble that didn't pay off. Yeah, you can have Stoneforge. Get their Cauldra. Drawing Undercity Sewers. Not amazing. Yeah, I'll draw Preordain to pitch to Force, and then I'll draw Ponder next turn. Shuffle on their Ponder. Ooh, they're not playing... They shuffle again. Wow, really? Third Ponder. Is this... This seems very fortuitous for me. So I am definitely going to just cast Doomsday now with Force backup. I'm sort of banking on them not having having access to Daze. Excuse me. Doomsday just instant resolves. Okay, so I'm at 9. I'm going to be at 4. I just clicked on the abrupt decay. I'm not sure I need that. Actually, pretty sure I don't need that. I think I want Jace though, and like another land to make him castable. Yeah, let's try this. I'm gonna put Tropical Island on the bottom, and then Edge of Autumn, and then like, is that right? So I guess it like Edge of Autumn should be the first card because I'm gonna be shuffling when I try to put Jason to play. Yeah, Cavern of Souls, Thassa. I'm gonna draw Edge, cycle Edge into Jace. And I'm doing this partly because like consign to memory is such a big part of the format, and I think it's more likely that they would have consign to memory than they would have like double force, which is basically what they'll need, or like force plus fluster or force plus pierce. Let's see. Okay, so I have to cycle, rather, let's float a green just to give them the old Veil vibe here, even though I am going to be using this mana. Let's see if this resolves. Wow, GG's. Okay, on the draw for round number 4, and yeah, I'll keep this hand. Opponent mulligan to 6. Okay, I think I'm gonna Underground Sea Thoughtseize here. I think we're just in a legacy economy where you don't want to like die on turn, like on your opponent's first turn when you were on the play with a Thoughtseize in your hand. What is this? Student of Warfare. Level up. Blah blah blah. Okay. I guess I take a Delver here. I don't know. This is some Esper Delver Blade. Stoneforge Mystic making a comeback. There's the Marsh Flats. Ooh, and they're not deploying the Delver. Interesting. I think I will cast Ponder here. I'll grab a Daze. And like if they have Daze, if that's the card they drew, so that they could daze this personal tutor, that will be really annoying. But I still think it is the line I'm going for. Well, something's happening. There's a Tundra. They brainstormed. That was the one card that we didn't know about. I'm gonna let this brainstorm resolve. It's very tempting to daze it actually, because it does allow them to swap out the bad cards in their hand. So if they find like daze plus force here, it's obviously going to be a bit of a punt on my part, but I'm kind of banking on that not happening, and that there's a chance I'm gonna be happy to have this daze later on in the game, or even right now. Okay, so Doomsday, and we pass. I don't want to deploy my LED. I don't want them to to know that something's happening next turn. They have Wasteland. Okay. Yep. And play Delver, please. Oh, okay. Student of Warfare. Okay. So let's see if we can win. I'm just gonna start off with the Dark Ritual here. I'll play LED. And I will cast Doomsday. So Thassa's Oracle. Maybe there's a slight edge I'm giving up by playing out the LED first. Because by playing out the LED, it might plant a seed in their head that I'm going to be using LED this turn, which might incentivize them to not Force of Will if they had it. And that is actually what I would want them to do. So let's see here. Do I give them a turn? They can level this up to 2. That just makes it a 3/3. And I'll be at 8. They could have another Wasteland, which would complicate things. Let's see here. I'm at 8. I'll be at 5, so I could Street Wraith twice. They could also have Bowmasters next turn, but then they don't get to level up the thing. So how does this look? So this is cold to any kind of stifle effect, but I think it's more likely that they could be sitting on a Force of Will right now than a stifle. So I pass. If they wasteland me, I can cycle Street Wraith into Edge and then cycle Edge into like into another Street Wraith. Then I draw Cavern of Souls, cycle Street Wraith, sacking LED, having played Cavern, drawing the second Edge. Yeah, I like that. This means no days. Yeah, so I am giving up on winning on the same turn, but we pass. I can't use the days. At least not if I want to use Cavern of Souls. Okay, so we pass. Let's see what the damage is. So far, so nothing. They have another Wasteland. Okay. So I am going to cycle the Street Wraith. And I'm going to cycle this Edge of Autumn. And then Wasteland fizzles. And something's happening. They're leveling up the student. Okay. Okay. So they're tapped out. We can't get stifled. So this is fine. This should be a win. I'm gonna name Merfolk. And I'm gonna cycle Street Wraith and maintain priority and sack the LED. So this will draw us the second Edge of Autumn. I will float a blue Merfolk mana and sack that, and unless they suddenly have Endurance in their Esper deck, then they're dead. Okay, so this is going to be a sideboard quite like last game, or last round. Maybe I want Flusterstorm, I don't know. Let's cut some number of personal tutors, cut a couple of cyclers, cut a couple of petals. And I don't know. Do I need the Flusterstorm? How good is that? Maybe I'm not going to use the Flusterstorm. Yeah, because Flusterstorm is like it's not that good on defense anyways, and we already have Veil of Summer ×4, so which I think kind of serves the same purpose in this type of matchup. Okay, I'll keep this hand, which is sparkling with the lack of green mana, and opponent has Delver immediately. Okay, Undercity Sewers. I'm gonna actually play that and get rid of this Daze. Yeah, this hand is quite weak to Wasteland, but at least we drew another land. They didn't flip their Delver. Whatever could they have drawn? It's not a Wasteland, so happy about that. Second Delver. Okay, so things can, start to unravel pretty quickly. I really want a green mana. Okay, I'm gonna cast Brainstorm here. If they daze this... Okay, they didn't. Sweet. Okay. Let's get rid of this LED maybe? And one land. And I'm gonna pass here. Don't want this Veil to get dazed, like at all. Not Veil, I mean Carpet. Maybe keeping one Veil of Summer would have been enough. Okay, so they fetched and put... Okay, Flusterstorm, okay. The race is on. I just really hope to not get wastelanded here. I think that would be the most important thing. But they didn't wasteland me last game, and they just revealed that they were drawing Flusterstorm. Okay, I'm gonna fetch and get Bayou. Thoughtseize, okay. So I am at an effective 6 life right now. I think the game really hinges on me resolving this Carpet of Flowers. I'm gonna Thoughtseize here because if they have Force plus Fluster, then that beats my Carpet plus Veil because I only have one green or two green mana. All right, let's Thoughtseize. This takes me to 10. If they have Bowmasters, then that takes me to 9, and then to 2, right? On the attack. Okay. Brainstorm. So, what are you hiding? Okay, Brainstorm's done resolving. Fetch land. Yes, please, because this is going to get blue mana. This could be Bowmasters. Flusterstorm. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let the Storm Trigger resolve. So let's just think here. If I let this resolve, and then I go Carpet, and then they go Force, and then I go Veil, then I'm still not doing anything this turn. I think I'm gonna Veil this. Brainstorm again. Okay, Brainstorm's done resolving. I draw Preordain for my troubles, and I'm not gonna be paying for their Fluster. And let's see here. We Thoughtseize them and take Tameo. They have 2 lands. Okay. So now we get to resolve our Carpet, which is big game here. This is what's going to win us the game, because this is going to let us do everything we want next turn. I'm going to get blue mana. I'm going to cast Preordain. I want another land, ideally. Do I care about another Dark Ritual? I don't think so. So I'm going to draw with Ponder. Another Doomsday. Okay, this is pretty sweet. Because if they, like, the one thing I think I could lose to here is if they hide a discard spell on top. So I'm going to actually draw the Edge of Autumn. And if they don't discard me, then I would much rather have that Misty Rainforest that's on top of my deck. But if they do discard us, we have access to the Doomsday. Okay. So they're attacking us. Their hand was the 2 fetch lands, plus whatever they just drew, which was something they hid on top. I think I will activate right now and make blue mana. And I think I'm going to fetch. Oh, this will leave me at 1 life. I'm going to tap the Bayou here. I'm only going to be casting 1 green spell this turn. I'm just going to cast Doomsday here. I think they have Consign to Memory, but we will see. Okay, so let's get the Jace. Let's get Thassa's Oracle and Cavern of Souls. And okay, so we have 2 spare mana to work with here, aside from the 4 we need for the Jace. I guess that means only 1 if we're also casting Veil of Summer, and none if we're also casting the Brainstorm. Maybe we want Lion's Eye Diamond in that case. Oh, I'm not sure. We could also take a Petal here. Let's see. So we want to cast Brainstorm, and we want to cycle Edge. That's 2 cards drawn. Then Jace will mill 2 and draw 1. So that's all 5 cards accounted for, but that doesn't win us the game. So we need to be drawing a card with Veil in that case. Or like Preordain plus a Petal. So how does this work? So I cast Brainstorm. Okay, we have 6 mana right now. Cast Brainstorm 5 mana. We draw Petal, Preordain, Jace. We put back Jace and Edge of Autumn. We play Petal and cast Preordain, drawing the Preordain, right? No, not the so the Edge into Jace, play Jace. We have Veil all the time. Yeah, I think this works. We can't cast the play the Cavern of Souls. That was a punt. That we've already made our land drop, but it's not gonna matter, I think. Yeah, this should all be fine. Okay, let's cast Brainstorm. Okay, so we put back Jace and Edge of Autumn, and we play the Lotus Petal, and we cast Preordain. We top, and we cycle Edge of Autumn here, and then we play Jace. So whatever they have, it has to be something that removes Jace from play and is not blue. Okay, never mind. There we go. 2 and 2. Let's go for the final round. Okay, on the draw for the final game, I've so far lost the games I were on the draw and won the ones I was on the play. But this is a good hand here, so let's see if we can make it pay dividends. Ancient Tomb. Oh no, really? Chalice of the Void? Ugh, okay. I'm going to Force of Will that, pitching the Ponder, because if we draw a Lotus Petal, then we just win on the same turn. You know, assuming our opponent can't interact. Okay, so I'm going to cast Doomsday here, and hopefully it resolves. It does, and then we have to play as though our opponent could cast a Blood Moon, I think. So I think I want a couple of like Lotus Petals. A Chalice of the Void for 2 or for 4. Oh, yeah, 4 mana would mean we would need Cavern of Souls. So like, how about this? A Cycler, a couple of Petals. Yeah. And then I think we put Cavern of Souls on the bottom. Cavern of Souls on the bottom. And then we draw Edge of Autumn. And then that draws a petal, and then we can like Brainstorm into the win on the same on next turn if they don't like chalice us again or do something. And if they do, we just have to take it slow. So let's see, this could also be Eldrazi, so they could have like Thought Knots here next turn. I guess like Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void, it is either Blood Moon or Eldrazi, or Moonstomp or Eldrazi, I mean. Those are at least by far the most likely, I would think. Okay, they concede. So they didn't think they could beat what we had, and they didn't want us to know what we're playing against. I don't think it changes that much. It means like if it's Moonstompy, I want Hydroblast. If it's Eldrazi, I don't. I think in both matchups, Force of Negation is mid. It's better versus Moonstompy probably because they have more like versus Eldrazi. It's basically just the chalices. You could argue that Kozilek's Command maybe. I think Abrupt Decay is very mid. I'm gonna board out a Thoughtseize and a Preordain. Yeah. Okay. This hand is, I think, fine to keep. I am gonna keep it. Opponent keeps 7 as well. Basic Island. Okay, so it's 8 cast or whatever. You know, that deck is called now. They bobble us, so they don't need bobble for like Metalcraft. I think, especially drawing the second land, I am going to Thoughtseize them. Force of Will, Thoughtcast, and Consign Memory. I am going to... How far away are they from casting Thoughtcast? If they make Seat, they have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. So they could Thoughtcast next turn, but it's going to cost them their Lotus Petal. It's between Thoughtseize and Force of Will. I think I would rather them like thought casting next turn. And yeah, we can just try and beat Consign with Jace. Okay, there's the Saga, so it looks like they're not trying to thought cast this turn. Chalice of the Void. It's gonna be a no on that one, I'm afraid. Okay. Doomsday right now. Please, and thank you. Okay, I'm gonna cast this Ponder. There is a Doomsday. My prayers were answered. And I'm not going to mess around with Veil of Summer here. So here comes Doomsday. I mean, we're going to put Oracle in there, right? But we want Jace. And am I able to put Jace on the stack next turn? Almost certainly. It requires a Brainstorm and Lion's Eye Diamond. And some Cyclers. Maybe we don't want Thassa. So, like a Street Wraith. Let's see here. So, we draw Street Wraith, cycle it into Brainstorm. Brainstorm, drawing Edge, Jace LED. We put back Dark Ritual and Jace, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that seems fine. So we don't want them to draw Force of Will or like any counterspell, basically. And they are going to be able to Thoughtcast next turn if they want to, but that's going to give up on Saga activation, I think. So yeah, let's play out this Petal here. I'm assuming they're not going to consign a memory this. They will actually just have me here if they consign a memory the LED. But let's hope they don't do that. Okay, there's the seat. Costs are being paid. Nope, they are not being paid. Something tells me, or like, I hope that they just want to keep open this consign for my Oracle here. I'm gonna cycle the Street Wraith. I'm gonna cast Brainstorm. And put back Dark Ritual and Jace. Just see here. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to play the LED. This is the key moment. Will they have the read? They did not. Okay, have they drawn a counterspell? Going to sack LED for blue. Jace is in. Do they have bounce? They did not. Okay, sweet. So we rallied from the 0-2 start to a 3-2 finish. All right, so that was fun. I think this list is sweet. Yeah, we got kind of rolled over by Grixis control, but like that deck has one of the hardest cards to interact with in Nimble Obstructionist, and also like multiple axes where it attacks our plan of beating Consign to Memory with Jace here and that Pyroblast. And I don't know, like Veil of Summer is really good there, but it just I don't know, it didn't come together. We lost versus lands in a scenario where I didn't think things through. I could have put a Daze in the pile and I didn't. And we lost to that endurance. But I really liked how the deck performed versus the blue decks we faced, all three of them. And yeah, I think like I could definitely see myself like continuing to explore this. We're approaching the new ban and restricted announcement, so there is a chance that Legacy is going to get like uprooted before I really get a chance to keep on going here. But so that might change things. But yeah, for now, like I just want to congratulate Luca Fasoli once more on his great performance, continued performances, and yeah, I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.